about those who are stuck in the completed Testament age. So listen, I don't doubt everyone on this call, and so many across the world, so many across the country, the price that we have paid to give everything to this movement is a considerable thing. This isn't a church. Sorry, second generation, for those of you still confused about that. This is not a church. Normally, if you join a church, it's like, you're joining a community, you show up on Sunday, maybe you give a little tithe, you join the soup, you volunteer at the soup kitchen, or you do this and that. That is one small aspect of what we do, and it's very important, especially with regard to creating environment in community and serving the greater community. And what have I been saying for the last year? There's nothing worth fighting for that doesn't include your family. And frankly, there's nothing worth fighting for that doesn't include your local community and the town in which your community sits. So we need to have, it needs to be substantive. But we are far more than a church. We are a movement trusted by God to lead the way. And what's our job? Our job is actually inviting everybody to the banquet table and not blocking the doorway with our own ignorance. Mother's especially concerned about any of you who might still be stuck in the completed Testament age. Now listen to me carefully. When I was in Korea, it was just before Dr. Jin Chun Kim's lectures in 2020, was it 21?
22.
22, April 2021.
Yeah.
And on April 17 was the unveiling of the obelisk. Remember, Dr. Jenkins, the obelisk?
Yes. Yes.
It was a beautiful day, a little chilly, but Mother addressed us in a very unique way. At that time, I already knew the content of, what we now call Champu Moron. Champu Moron is the way that it's been presented, but really it's what Mother's been trying to say.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that was the day that Mother was talking about God leaving true parents by the bank of the river where they might fall in, and all he could do was keep an eye on them, but could not stop them from falling in the river if that might, it's like Mother was talking in a way, and she was preparing us for these lectures. But then she took us to lunch in the stadium, and her first words were what? Her first words were, "You love true parents, don't you? And you especially love true father, don't you?" Now, I shared these words with you if you came to the Rebirth Workshop. And have you come to the Rebirth Workshop? But I never shared with you all the words she said. This was to all the leaders in the stadium. She said, "You love true father, don't you? Then please help me liberate him." Please make it such that Satan and no one on this earth can lay claim to an accusation upon him. What does that mean, Dr. Sullivan? And the tone with which she said it and I want you to get into this heart space with me now. I sat there eating my dessert. You'll remember she told everybody, eat your dessert, because it was made by a special chef from France. And I was about to leave the dessert, but she said, everybody eat your dessert. So I was eating my dessert. She was speaking. And she said, what she was saying with her tone was, "You are my children and I need you. Please help me." Please help, Father. It was already in 2021. I was in the room when Mother slumped in her chair, and Tomiko-san, she said, I've come to the point of losing all hope in the second generation. This does not mean you, Denthu. She was referring to the true children. You understand what I mean, Leslie? She was referring to the true children. And you were there, Dr. Jenkins. She was talking about all the 36 best couples. She was talking about how we screwed up. We didn't make the right environment from the very beginning for our youth. And so she's so grateful to any blessed child that is still here in the game. She's so grateful because she recognizes that almost none of you had correct education. None of you. And when she says education, she also includes the environment in that term. So she was lamenting as early as 2021 that there was no pathway forward for the second generation realm of her family to take leadership. And it was pitiful to see. But by 2022, as I was sitting there on the long banquet table, I was just at the edge, right? I was eating my dessert as a good filial son. And I was listening to what Mother was telling us, Dr. Jenkins. She wasn't just telling us to get ready for a workshop. She was asking me, Demian, Tomiko, Susan, Larry, Raymond, Michael, David, Barry, Barbara, Gloria, Alan, Landon, Hans, please become a true child. She was not asking us, Dr. Jenkins, just to learn a new theology. Do you all understand this? Young leaders, do you understand this? Everybody's caught up in whether you understand Champu Moran, or whether you accept Champu Moran, or whether you really accept what Mother's saying, or how do I get my head around Holy Mother Han? Don't be caught by your own cleverness from the completed Testament age. Be careful. She's not asking us just to learn something new, Larry, and accept her version of something. She's actually asking us to complete the providence with her. I'm not talking about making a donation and showing up for the entrance ceremony. Much more important even than the marble and the dollars and the great lectures is you, your spirit, your soul, your substance, your mind, your heart, your conviction, your unity, your attendance to Mother. There's nothing greater than your attendance to Mother. There was not 1 minute of one day where one soul attended Jesus as the only begotten Son while he was alive. Not one. Even those who knew who he was denied him. That means they didn't know who he was. Mother was not asking us just to learn a new truth. When Mother spoke to me and the other 600 leaders in that stadium, what she was telling me was, my child, please come and sit with me. Please come and sit with me on the bed. With your father and mother. There's something we need to tell you, Reverend Che. I need to convey to you the deeper secrets of our family such that you not only understand it, but that you can help take responsibility for it. How do we take responsibility for it? We listen, we digest, we understand, and we unite. We become one with Mother in this era. It's not about how well you understand the truth. She's not asking you to understand the truth, Tomiko-san, so you can teach a new lecture, right? She's asking you yourself to play the role of the completion of the providence. Is it not true that we need true parents and children to secure the four-position foundation? You are the children. You have been invited to the table as true children. Mother said it to me 3 times over 3 different breakfasts. Dr. Jenkins, you were there at least one of those times, I remember. The true children are not those born of my womb. True children are those who are united with me. That's a bittersweet statement, but it's the truth. Is anybody hearing me here?
Yes.
Mother in that moment was asking us to help who? To help Father. To help our Father. Mother is, listen well and write down what I say to you. True mother is asking us to uphold the sanctity and the victory of true parents by stepping in to the loyal, filial, hyojung realm of true children in attendance to Heavenly Parent through our true parents, in substance right now, through true mother. And to save the Father that you love so much. And yet we have people who are stuck because they didn't understand. True mother is asking us to uphold the sanctity of true parents. I tell you this, and this is my testimony. There is no man in human history that accomplished what true father accomplished.
That's right.
There is no man who accomplished what he accomplished. He went beyond even that which we stopped Jesus from doing. We killed Jesus to stop him. Those were the stakes. Those were the stakes that Father gave his life up for, I don't know how many times.
Mm-hmm.
Did he, though, make a mistake? I'm not talking about opening up a business with a bad business plan. Was there something fundamental missing in the way Father educated you? There was something missing. And yet, it can be understood because, number one, and this is what Father told me in the Chonshim 1, the word Father told me was responsibility. He couldn't get around it. This is a man, as many men tend to be in relationship with their wives. We can see it. We know our responsibility. We are going for it. Sometimes we don't like to take the time to listen to our wives because we can make 3 minutes on our last attempt. We can do it better. We know what to do. And Father was standing on a 6,000-year history of male-centered understanding of God, male-centered understanding of the Judeo-Christian realm, male-centered understanding of Jesus Christ himself, male-centered understanding of Christianity, and a male-centered understanding of the role and responsibility of the Lord of the Second Advent. Was Father supposed to have wives before meeting Mother? No. No. And so we don't need to create any more apologetics or let me speak in vulgar terms, sort of, excited, Mooney, voodoo realm, providential explanations just to kind of pass it all off as something that had to happen. No, it didn't have to happen. And that is all you need to know. So if there's other people that ask you, well, did Father have other relationships and all this and that and the other? The truth is, Mother told me. There's too many stories that I cannot tell you. So there's some that think Mother is saying these things, doing these things to what? Glorify herself? To what? Garner more power? So what? She can have more responsibility and more sleepless nights? Barbara Robertson, a misunderstanding about this point will send humanity on a 1,000-year erroneous course. God told me this 5 years ago. If we misunderstand this point, Mother's not saying, I'm worried about those who are caught up in the H1 camp or the H3 camp. She's making conditions for them also, by the way, desperately. She's worried about those who are among us in our camp and yet still stuck in the completed Testament age. Not because she's angry, because actually she's super excited and looking around a room wondering, how many more of our children do we have at the party? And she knows how cold and how lonely it will be for us to miss. And even worse, as leaders, to misguide others about this point. So I'm speaking to you not as members, but as leaders. Is that okay? Many of you are my elders. Many of you have sacrificed for many years longer than me. But I'm speaking to you as mother's representative nonetheless. Please receive it. And this isn't any judgment. This isn't because I'm judging you. This is because we're almost only 40 days out of D-Day. And we really need to make sure as a nation, our leadership is completely aligned, right, Dr. Jenkins? Completely aligned, right? So I'm going into a little bit deeper on this. Mother made it very clear Father was not supposed to marry and all of that. But that's actually not the bigger problem. The biggest problem was that he did not emphasize mother's stature while he was alive. That is the single biggest error that is weighing like a lead splinter in true mother's heart. Your mom is crying in her heart about this because there's nothing more that has damaged the second generation realm than this misunderstanding. And there is no greater threat to the providence than the second generation true children who are completely off campus. This is what mother has told us. She's not stopping. She's not sitting in a corner crying and waiting. She's flying. She's marching forward. But the strength of her work has to do with how many people right now are living in substantial attendance to her. That's why there's no greater honor than you can have than to end your prayer in attendance to Holy Mother Han. If anybody has a problem about that, then watch again what I told you in my now 3,000 or 4,000 hit view video, Shall We Pray? Because in that, I remind everyone, guys, you don't even have to pray if you don't want to. It's a blessing that we get to pray, and it's a blessing that we now get to pray in our own names and in attendance to Holy Mother Han. And don't think for a minute that this is somehow discounting true parents. You don't even have to pray. But if you are a leader in any respect in this movement, there's no such thing as a leader of this movement if that leader is not aligned 100% with true mother. No such thing. You need to literally recuse yourself and not in some passive aggressive way try to take other members with you. You've already seen there's two options. You either lead in mother's movement or you form your own splinter group. And please let me know the name of your group so I can issue a memo from headquarters about it. I will not be passive. I will stand as an elder brother with love and an embrace, but I need your support. We're not going to let anybody hurt mother anymore. And this is why I will tell you and pay attention to these words. There's no man that accomplished what true father did. And it's your mother, our mother, asking us to liberate him. How? By uniting with her. Does father not deserve our love, Reiko-san? Does father not deserve our love? Our loyalty? true mother is asking us to see our Father in his nakedness and not cover him in a cloak, threaded by our own ignorant attempt to somehow protect him, because we're stuck in a completed testament understanding of who he is, what he said, and what he wants you to do. Mother's asking us to see him in his nakedness and embrace true parents and stand with true father. The irony is, Makiko-san, Akira-san, the irony is that all those people who stand in other camps blowing their trumpets of righteousness, claiming to know Father better, love Father more, and protect Father's legacy, are the ones who are keeping him in prison. They are the very ones who are cloaking him with the fabric threaded by their own ignorant understanding. And what happens when they do that? And not only this, but they cast out the mother in their father's name. This is not a righteous child. This is not a true child, no matter what name they have on their birth certificate. This is not a member of the movement. This is a lost child whom we're all praying for. But your prayers, our prayers, will be weak if we are not united with Mother. I made these 10 lectures not because it's just something that you should go through quickly so that you can participate in the holy wine. I was holding back for months just to release all of this online, and I wish I put it on earlier. And we've been trying to do all manner of things. We have the lectures from Korea, but it's difficult to translate them into English, right, in the same heart. And Reverend Che is leading well through the Korean churches, and step by step, the members are understanding. But how do I convey this to a Western audience? As a true son, I'm taking responsibility, and I'm telling you, these 10 lectures now form the basis of our official education for the American movement. You can use it for yourself, you use it for your children, you can use it for your guests, and we will continue to develop and improve, but this is the bedrock right now. And I will continue to add to it and improve it, but this is my verbal announcement. This is not just something you've got to go through quickly to participate. This is the education right now for the American movement. And when you sign up for it, as you know, you have all these 10 lectures, and I don't go in hard and heavy like I am in this session. You are leadership. I'm trying to convey in a way, honestly, it's not easy to do, but for new members, old members, disgruntled members alike. I'm just trying to invite people to Mother's table. Guys, with regard to teaching True Mother's essence, let me tell you this, and I'll conclude soon. I learn a lot from different people, Alexa, but I haven't yet met someone. Actually, to tell you the truth, sometimes I heard some things from the true grandchildren that really helped me. But I have not yet met a leader who can bring me into a deeper, essential understanding of who True Mother is. What does that mean? It means I haven't yet met anyone among any of you, anybody, anywhere in the world. I have not yet heard anything or met anyone, although there's things that people say that give new insights. I'm not talking about that. I have not yet met anyone that has a better understanding than me. And I'm really excited to meet them. Don't worry. So that's why I'm stepping up to say, I will teach it as this, and this will be our official education. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Okay. So the cool thing is, it's not just about,
You are the president.
I want the local leaders. I want the leaders to use this. Actually, I'm not even going to give everybody the PowerPoint yet because I want them to hear it from me first. And then I think we should start, Denthew, we need to start raising up, 100 next generation lecturers. And we can have our senior lecturers teach them and guide them. But everybody should be teaching ultimately from their own heart. But we're going to start with this, and as we continue to develop it, and we're also going to be teaching on the Korean epic. And I will take responsibility to make sure that what we teach in America, Dr. Jenkins, makes sense for Americans first. Otherwise, what are we going to do, right? So not only do you get these lessons, but you get invited into this community. If some of you of the boomer generation are struggling to figure this out, please ask for help. It is an application, whether iPhone or Android. You can download an application on your phone. It's kind of more comfortable in the web application format. So keep the link. Remember your password. And especially as leaders, if you're not in there, I need your help. I need your help to answer questions from the members. Look at this. You start harm. I will protect this community with anybody that tries to get in there and just preach a different message. They will be given the backdoor welcome. You can join the community. You can introduce yourself. I don't know how many we have, 300 plus members on here now.